Welcome into the bunker. Um, I wanted to talk to you guys about um, sort of what I've been thinking and what's going on. Um, I think I'm going to switch my name from the crypto bunker to just the bunker. Um, there's a lot happening right now with crypto and sort of digital identity and the possibility of future social credit scores. Um, so I do kind of want to change my digital identity. I also deactivated my Twitter. Unfortunately, I think it's health wise probably better for me as well to do that. Um, and so hopefully, guys, understand that this is not a change in who I am or like what information I'm going to bring. I'm still going to be talking crypto. I'm still going to be, I'm just doing a little bit of house cleaning here, just making sure I cover my tracks, cover my bases. I know these things may seem extreme now, but again, this is what's happening in Canada. And the Kraken CEO today just said, like, he basically said to get your assets off of Kraken and centralized exchanges because they can, it's a possibility that what's happening in Canada could affect those people's assets, and they will comply. Even in the U.S., he said so. That makes me uncomfortable because I have my ETH staked in Kraken. Although I don't think, I think he's more talking about Canadians. But yeah, I mean, if something happened in the U.S. where they seized people's assets for supporting the truckers, then I may have an issue. Um, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't. It's hard to believe, obviously, that would happen in the U.S. But anything, and that's why I'm covering my tracks because I've spoken out a lot on Twitter. I think I've woken a lot of people up. I hope at this point, and at this point, if you're not making the changes you need to make, um, then what can I do really? I think I've done all I can in terms of saying, get out of crypto, go into, not financial advice, but I've just been saying like, the more that I'm out of crypto, like, as a smaller percentage of my portfolio instead of like 120% um, of my portfolio with the debt and everything, it's a completely different mindset. I think everyone has their own comfort zone with that. But for me, I'm comfortable just staking some ETH and just holding on for a long term and not really thinking about accumulating until, much lower prices. Because I do think there's a regulation wave that's going to come in and knock a lot of this stuff off the table. It's going to be, I think it might be like a prolonged sort of year and a half long, maybe in a year from now, we start to see the bottom or, something like that. There's going to be a lot of things that happen in this next year that I think risk asset wise are not going to be good. And this channel is not going to change for the worse. It's going to change for the better. I'm not going to solely be covering crypto. I'm going to be covering, events, what's going on in the world, like what you need to learn to make, better decisions for yourself and your family. And so I hope that, I think that, like I'm covering sort of the overall markets. And I'm sort of giving you my opinion on where things are at, things like that. Eventually, I'd like to move over strictly to like Rumble, Odyssey, because those are, a little bit more censorship free. We saw the YouTube CEO um, yesterday or 2 days ago say that she thinks the government should make laws to essentially censor speech in America. So basically going full China and saying, things about maybe elections or about, jabs would get you kicked off of YouTube potentially. I mean, it's already happening, but I guess maybe it would be like a larger scale. And I enjoy doing podcasts. And for me, it's not really even about like the potential to have more subscribers or more money. it's really just about trying to inform people, and trying to like make like the smallest difference in the world, whether that's like one person or maybe maybe it's 10 people. For me, like that's fun. I mean, and I enjoy it. So it's a good time. And just so you guys know, like I'm not someone who does this research and this work myself. I rely on many sources of information, and it's not just like the conspiracy side of things. It's not just um, the mainstream media side of things. It's sort of an overall just kind of like the truth of what's happening, and then I kind of formulate it myself and make decisions that way for myself. I don't make decisions for you. I'm not your financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Um, but in this world that we are sort of entering into, you have to choose sort of like where you're going to put your effort and your time. And for me, it's going to be improving myself, increasing the amount of um, streams of income that I have. Uh, you know, it's going to be working on being very much more self-sustainable. So just type in like, how do I be more self-sustainable into Google and see what comes up. Becoming your own central bank, becoming your own grocery store, by growing your own food. Those things are going to be very important. And I think if you start now, you're still early. You're still early in this self-sustainable wave that we will have to go into as a society. We see a lot of things happening with food. I do believe there will be food shortages this year, if not, within a couple months. Fertilizer prices are up 500% from traditional prices, and that a lot of people won't be planting corn, and corn goes to feed the animals. Unfortunately, if you live in a suburb, you might not be able to raise your own animals, but if you can, that's something to think about as well. Getting your own eggs from, your chickens that you feed only grass and, healthy water, that's going to be pretty valuable. I wish that I had that level. I mean, maybe that's the next. I think actually it might be illegal, possibly for me to have chickens in my yard. So, but I think we will see a chicken shortage. That's just one thing that I've been researching. There's actually a bird flu that's going through some of these chickens, and Tyson Foods, who has large plants of chickens, upwards of 300,000 chickens in different areas in the Midwest and also in Georgia. So this bird flu is spreading, and so they're killing the chickens, unfortunately. And we're already sort of low on chickens. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's harder to get chicken breasts, like thick chicken breasts. You can get like chicken sliced sort of breasts. You can get chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks, but it's actually been harder to get the thick breasts, which is like what many people sort of rely on for their chicken. Um, so you want to get to a point where you're able to process these type of things like right now. And I think the people who wait longer to sort of know the truth and sort of figure out what's going on with some of this stuff, the worse it will be when you finally do kind of come to the realization. I think everyone's going to have to go through that crisis moment. I know for me, I've sort of always had the framework of, the fact that we might be being lied to. So I've always been sort of skeptical of things that were happening. And so that sort of allowed me to, make the choices that I made in regards to some of the stuff that have happened in the past couple of years. And even if you did make certain choices that you might regret, and I won't mention anything with that because it could be a range of things. Just know that you can change. Like you're not stuck in any sort of decision. You don't have to continue down that path. You really, really don't. And you might think like, well, I've already done it, so now I can go do it again and again. But you know, there's ways to continue to be healthy, that are, you know, outside of the traditional system. I would say cutting out seed oils, which is in everything. Those actually cause metabolic disease. And I think that like the death rates, they're not only up because of COVID and other things related to that, but I think they're also up because of like our bad diets as Americans and so many foods we've been putting in our bodies for years, and our parents have too. And so it's kind of been passed down. But you look in any bag, okay, any plastic bag or plastic whatever that you might have, it probably has either some type of seed oils, soybean oils, canola oils, vegetable oils, and those are all really not good for us. And since they've been introduced into our diets, they have metabolic disease has just gone off the charts. And I think it started in like 1910 with the introduction of cottonseed oil, which is that's like probably the worst of all of them, because just think about it, like it just doesn't even, it's just disgusting at this point. And it's not easy to get rid of these things. For me, it's been really hard to get rid of chips because I love potato chips. But if you get rid of those and you start to fast, so fasting is super healthy for your body. It gets rid of old cells. It gets rid of sort of that brain fog that you might be feeling. If you fast an entire day, think about that. Think about it this way: like, yeah, if you have all these cells that have been working really hard to process all this food, first of all, they probably need a break. Second of all, if you give them a break, they're going to probably go searching, and sort of you get that more of that circulation and that movement in your body. And you also get the cells that aren't going to make it, they would probably die off. And then you get new cells. And that's where you're getting that benefit, is creating new cells and new pathways for yourself in that way. And another thing for me, I've never fasted a full day, like where I just don't eat the entire day and then go to sleep. So I do want to try that, because I think there is some more benefits with doing like 48-hour fasts. So if you eat a big dinner, and then you go and you fast the whole rest of the next day, then you wake up, then after that, you just have to go till dinner again that day. So that's 48 hours. And so, yeah, I think that that's a good idea to try to do. Again, with food shortages, you're going to probably have to eat less anyway in the future. And so, the people who get their body used to fasting and maybe only eating like one meal a day are probably going to be better off than people who are addicted to these seed oils and who are addicted to, just eating all the time. So yeah, hopefully you guys got something out of the video. Just want to do a quick update on what's going on with the channel. I will keep it going. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. If you haven't subscribed, you can do so. On the bottom here, I have that little logo. You can subscribe there or just click the button, obviously, and like it if you can. And yeah, everyone have a great day.